Hello, good afternoon, and welcome. Daniel Jugenis coming to you from London as always. Trust you are well, in good health, and above all, safe. For myself, it's been something of a mixed bag, so to speak. On Good Friday, I got the sad news that my mother had passed away. She died in hospital of the corona stroke COVID 19 virus. She apparently was found face down on the floor of the hospital ward where she was. I believe she got out of bed for some reason and must have fallen and she died there. I believe she died. I believe she was found that way. I don't know all the details. I'm just getting this from hearsay. So, what I wanted to share with you today is it's very strange for me. Excuse me. It's very strange for me, given the message I. Excuse me. Bit water. Sorry. Excuse me. It's a excuse me. It's a very strange thing, given the Good Friday message I gave on Friday, and several hours after giving that, recording that message, that video entry, I received the news that my mother died. I had heard that she had the COVID 19 virus, she was in hospital. Then I heard that wasn't the case, and then I heard it was the case, and then finally I heard that she died, she'd passed on. It's left me with very mixed feelings. We wasn't that close. I gave her away at her third wedding in 2002. I never saw her after that, and I did speak to her periodically up until 10 years ago. And after that, I was always calling, leaving messages on her voicemail, nothing. So I decided what I would do, I would take a step back and not contact her and see if she would, out of some concern, contact me. Sadly, that never happened, and so that relationship pretty much died 10 years ago, but that was her choice. Not the easiest of people to deal with. She certainly had her issues with me with regards to being the product of her first marriage. Well, there was five of us who were a product of that marriage, but she kind of singled me out for for less than desirable treatment, and this is something that I endured over pretty much over a 30-year period. So her passing, while I'm mourning it, because I'm all in black here, it has left me with many mixed feelings, and I've spoken to a couple of uncles, or three uncles actually, and an aunt, and they're going through this period of mourning as well, but it's very difficult because she didn't leave them with anything to really remember. I mean, once she left Jamaica, I mean, she pretty much closed the door on her family there, and she just had that habit of closing doors and moving on to whatever relationship she went into. And to be honest with you, I said to one of my uncles, I was up all Good Friday night, Saturday morning, talking to one uncle for a few hours because we hadn't spoken in 2 years, so we were playing catch up as well as talking about my mother. And I said to him, as well as his brother, my other uncle, a little later on, that I should be sitting in my living room in the dark, all in black, wearing sackcloth and ashes and crying my eyes out, and that really wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening. When my father died 2 years ago, I cried. When people approached me at work, tears welled up into my eyes. With my mother's passing, I'm just not feeling that. I'm just going through the motions, and there are feelings there, but they're not one of love nor loss. I'm afraid to say it's not glee either, because at the end of the day, she was my mother, so there's no glee there. There is a sad loss in that she could have been so much, but she made a lot of bad decisions. In my humble view, she made a lot of bad decisions, and how she died doesn't really sit well with me. It comes to a sad end. There's so many things she should have said, so many secrets she should have divulged, and she took them with her to the grave. No reason for that whatsoever. So she's something of an enigma. She's always been an enigma, because I can't, using logic, figure out why she made the decision she did. And I will never know those answers, because I've never had that conversation with her. Not an easy person to get on with. I mean, there were times when we sat and talked, but not about what really mattered, not about her behaviour to me. That remains unresolved, as with many things. What is particularly hurtful is that the 4 younger siblings that followed me, they knew she was ill. They knew she was hospitalised, and not one of them reached out to me. Not one. And even when she died, they still did not reach out to me. I had to hear via extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles, but not them. And that is because essentially in life she poisoned their minds against me. And the shabby behaviour that they have displayed over the years is pretty awful. And the fact that she was hospitalised and she died and they didn't tell me, it makes things much, much worse. I really, really don't think I will ever, ever forgive them for that. There is a lot of anger in me regarding the whole situation with my mother, but this is a real, real low, even for them. And I just don't think I have it in me to forgive them for that, because it wasn't necessary. It was, like much of my mother's behaviour, cruel, unwarranted, unconscionable, and pretty much unforgivable. So, where do we stand? Where do I stand? It's not in me to be this way. I would like to think that I'm not made that way, not until Good Friday, until after I did that Good Friday message, I would have said I'm not made that way. But the news of her passing is set something in me that I don't think can ever be resolved. There's so many questions, so many issues that remain unresolved. As I've said to my uncles and aunts, I've just said, well, my siblings are essentially living in a train wreck, and they don't even know it. I don't think they really care anyway, but that's on them. That's not on me. So, on that somber note, I will bid you adieu, au revoir. And as always, look after yourself, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and I will talk to you tomorrow, and I'll let you know how I feel. So until then, take care. Goodbye for now.